Hey everyone, I hope you're doing really well today. I'm Abby Glassenberg. I'm the co-founder of Craft Industry Alliance. We are an organization for craft and creative business owners, and we are super excited each Wednesday to go live with one of our members to learn more about their business for our Member Spotlight series. So today we actually are going to have a really special guest. We're going to be speaking with Darrin Stern. And Darrin is coordinating along with us a new trade show for the crafts industry. It's going to be called H&H Americas. You might have heard of H&H Cologne if you are sort of in the craft industry trade show circuit, which is a wonderful show that has been taking place for many, many years in Cologne, Germany. And for the very first time, we're going to have our own show here in the US, H&H Americas. And Darrin's going to be joining us. Hi, I see that Darrin's watching the live. So Darrin's going to request to join us in just a few moments. And I might be able to actually let him in this way. Nope. Okay, Darrin, so just request to join. And we're going to be talking more about what is this show? How is it different from other trade shows? What are the goals for this show? Who should come? What kinds of things you might see? I think it's going to be a really good conversation. And Craft Industry Alliance is so excited. We are the strategic partner in helping to bring this show to the US, which is just the perfect match for us. We're doing a whole lot of interesting things in collaboration with them. One of them is that we have the opportunity to plan the educational content at the show. So you know all the classes and panel discussions and things like that you can take when you go to a trade show? Well, Craft Industry Alliance gets to help along with a fantastic committee that we've been working with since start of the school year, so maybe September. We get to plan all that educational content. So we get to have the topics that we think are most relevant and forward-thinking for the industry. We get to bring in the best teachers and voices. So the application to teach at H&H Americas has just gone up. It is on the H&H Americas website, and you can find it there. We will also be posting a separate post on the Craft Industry Alliance website under our news tab shortly. That will take you to that application. But if you might be interested in teaching, please think about it and create an application for us, because we would love to hear everybody's ideas. The application is open through the end of 2021, and then we'll be going through everything in very early 2022, probably in January, along with our committee. So it's going to be amazing. I'm very excited about it. We're doing some other programming as well to help prepare for this new show. So if you might want to attend and have a booth at a trade show for your very first time, we think that's amazing. And we are working with Lisa Chamoff from Indian Tangled. Indian Tangled is doing the Newcomers Pavilion at the show. These are smaller booths that are at a lower price point and are perfect for people who are newer to wholesale. So to help with the Newcomers Pavilion effort, we are doing a double webinar in January. It's going to be back-to-back sessions on Zoom. And the first one is going to be all about how to create a trade show booth. So if you want to do this but feel a little overwhelmed, which frankly I do, because we're going to have a booth at this show, which is our first trade show booth too, then we're going to walk you through with some experienced folks who have done this before, best practices for creating your first trade show booth. So that's going to be session 1 in January. And then back to back, right after, we're going to have session 2, which is going to be about how to wholesale. So again, the Newcomers Pavilion, lower price points, smaller booths, and for people who are newer to wholesale. So if wholesale is something that you really want to expand into, but have some maybe qualms or questions about pricing, packaging, getting barcodes, anything else that, working with distributors, there's a lot that goes into getting ready for wholesale. So we're going to have some incredible panelists who we're just booking the last one now, who have tons of experience in wholesale, and they will be there to answer your questions and help you get ready. We wanted to do these 2 sessions in January because they are 6 months out from the June show, and that way you have enough time to prepare. So, okay, Darrin, I see you here, and I'm gonna see if I can with you. Hopefully, you got that message. Hey, Darrin,
Hello there.
how are you?
Very good. Thank you for having us on today.
Of course, I was just giving some background about some of the things that we're working on, but I'd love to hear from you. Kind of the genesis of this show. I'm sure people are curious, and maybe they've heard about H&H Cologne, which has such an incredible reputation as a show in Germany, but are wondering, why is this show coming to the US? So tell us a little bit about kind of how that idea came to be.
Yes, thank you very much. And I will try to be as brief as possible. For those that know me, I tend to talk a lot. But yes, so Cologne Messe, we are a trade show company. We're based in Germany. We've been here in the United States now for almost 20 years as a full operating subsidiary. I myself have been with Cologne Messe for 18 of those years. We have organized H&H Cologne on behalf of the Handarbeit Initiative in Cologne for the last 7 years, us organizing it. It has existed before that. The association managed it themselves, and it was a little more domestic orientated. Since launching that show and making it international, that show has grown tremendously. For those that have been there, you definitely know what I'm talking about. 4 exhibit halls, almost 450 exhibitors, 16,000 individuals from around the world. And we've always been, the exhibitors have always said they're interested in America. What can we do? Where should we go? What should we see in America? We want to talk to American retailers. Research says there's about 22,000 different individual locations that somehow make up the fiber arts, whether it's a needlepoint, yarn, quilt making, fabric store, makes up a very large world for just the United States alone. So we've watched the US market. Unfortunately, over the last 18, 12, almost 20 months already, it has been difficult for many organizers. Trade shows have been a difficult product to own and sell. And we've been able to survive, and we've been able to take opportunity now that there is one. The US has been left without a fiber arts event leading the way. There is still a quilt market, and that's very specific to the quilting industry, but we took this opportunity to unite the fiber arts, to bring together all of the different factions like we do in Cologne. Yes, heavy yarn, but yet there is some quilt making involved. There is stitching, there is garment making, there is needlepoint, but just anything and under the sun that works with fiber, and also bringing together everyone that makes a living via the fiber arts, whether you're a retail store, an e-commerce, an importer, a distributor, a manufacturer, an indie hand dyer, a book publisher, a designer, an influencer, a teacher at your local elementary school who wants to launch a knitting club or a sewing club and teach the future buyers of tomorrow. That's what we're trying to unite here in Chicago in June.
That is so, so exciting. I'm thrilled. I love trade shows. I think we've all missed them a lot, as you said, over the last 18 months or so when we've been stuck at home. And Zoom's been great. Definitely lots of advantages and silver linings to being able to do things virtually. But I do think there's a real hunger, at least for myself, and I think from a lot of people, to get back out there in person, being able to see and touch new product, and most importantly, being able to talk to people and really make connections in person. So I'm really hopeful that June in Chicago is going to be safe. There will be COVID precautions in place, of course, so we can run this show safely. But I think that's going to be a fabulous way for our industry to reconnect and see each other again.
Agreed. And I think the thing to me that keeps our business alive, particularly in this segment, there's nothing like touching the product. You can describe how soft it is, you can describe how silky it is, but until you put your hands on it, or as I look behind you on the beautiful artwork and the different things you have behind you, is it orange? Is it red? Is it what? You don't know until you see it, because color representation is so critical to what we're doing. Sizing, if you're dealing in garments, you can kind of see it on a mannequin, you can kind of see it on a screen, but until, again, you actually have it in front of you, it's kind of why Nordstrom's and those kinds of businesses still have a place in today's modern business.
Absolutely. And so I would love to talk a little bit about one of, I think, the most unique parts of this show, which is that H&H in Cologne already had this really established European and international business. And a lot, as you said earlier, a lot of those companies are interested in the American market. And a lot of them have actually already confirmed and committed to coming to H&H America. So I think one of the most exciting things is going to be being able to meet international vendors, maybe with products you've never encountered before, and make those new connections as well.
Correct. And I'm also going to answer a question that I saw come up in the feed
Sure. Yeah.
at the same time. So yes, it is at the Rosemont Convention Center. So we sometimes use the term Chicago. It's technically not Chicago. It is about 10 minutes from O'Hare Airport, free shuttle buses to all of the hotels around the area. It's convenient, but yet it's also close enough that if you want to make a weekend of it, you can go enjoy the city, catch a Cubs game or a White Sox, and go to a museum or see the lakefront. It is B2B only. It is not open to the public.
Right.
So it is meant for people who make a living via the fiber art. So if you're an Etsy shop operator who's buying large volumes of product because you make lots of items, great, we welcome you. If you're a retail store, you're welcome to join us. And the internationality of the show is something I think that is going to be exciting to make people want to come out, let alone we haven't been together to see your community, to meet your fellow comrades in what we all love and do, to touch the product. But we have, I think it's 18 different nations of direct registration representation.
That's
so
amazing.
Ukraine, Serbia, Japan, India, Turkey, Germany, Austria, so on. National pavilions from the UK, national pavilions from Holland and Italy. You haven't seen this type of interest or this ability to come to America before. Not that trade shows weren't here, whether they weren't invited, they weren't gone after, or we'll pat ourselves in the back. That's the power of Cologne Messa, where there's people like me in 8 subsidiary offices and 120 sales reps around the world, all who are telling suppliers to come to America and telling buyers to come to America. So we do expect a number of people to travel from overseas to see the vast options that we have here in America. When you go to H&H Cologne, there's about 30 to 40 companies from North America self-representing. We know there's many, many more great providers of wonderful products. They need to come to America to see them. Our goal is to have about 200 to 30 exhibitors on the show floor for people to see in our first edition, and we're well on our way to providing that for everyone.
That's fantastic, and I'm super excited about that. So to clarify, anyone who makes a living in the fiber arts, so if you are a cross-stitch designer, this is a good show for you. If you dye yarn, this is a good show for you. If you're a quilting pattern designer, this is a good show for you. It really spans and unites everybody who works with fiber, people who weave, people who spin, all of that.
Correct. And it's really from the small little, as I say, from I just started making something at home and I got my little Etsy shop, to I do craft fairs all throughout the summer, and I have like 4 or 5 places that I go, and you're ramping up production, to all the way the other end of the scale where we see a number of original Turkish mills that are coming, and we're now going to put a focus on some of those folks that are designing weave textiles and are in a more mass scale manufacturing, because it's a way for them to, again, use this as a central meeting point. It's one of the values of trade shows. It's cheaper for everyone to get together in one spot for 2.5 days than it is to try to run around and visit 10 suppliers. Yeah, it's fun to go see someone's farm and to see those things. That's a different kind of experience. But in 24 hours or 48 hours, you can actually shop 240 different lines or present to, our hope is, over 4,000 individuals.
Yeah. And another cool, as you said, aspect of this is everybody's in one place. So if you have a quilting guild and want to have your annual meeting or something like that, this is a really good opportunity to bring everybody to the show, be able to share in the excitement, see all the new products together, do some learning together, and then also meet, maybe have dinner, maybe have, a session in the evening or drinks in the hotel together, and get your, community built that way.
Absolutely. There was a representative from Canada who's so excited to do a Canada night gathering. There's a local bowling alley, walking distance to all the hotels. She's like, oh my God, we would love to do that. I just want to get all the Canadians together that come as attendees and exhibitors, and let's just go bowling together and have fun as Canadians, because for whatever reason, they like to do that.
They're spread out. Yeah,
yes.
It's hard to meet, right?
We do it in Germany at one of our hardware shows. We have a Canada Night party, and it's the highlight of actually one of the things we do during the event. So we are going to support those kinds of things. And if anyone is listening and you're part of those groups, please reach out and talk to us. We really are trying to be as open and as encompassing as possible, whether you want to call me the P.T. Barnum. We want a big circus tent, right? We want it made out of fabrics. We don't like vinyl. We want to sew it together, and really find a way to raise the waters for everyone across the board, regardless of the little niche that you might fill or the big cross section that you do represent.
Absolutely. Okay, so people listening are like, hey, that does sound kind of interesting. I would like to learn more. I'd like to learn about how much it might cost to get a booth, or a booth in the Newcomers Pavilion for those that are newer to wholesale, or just want to find out more and get some details. Or if you might want to teach at H&H Americas, we've got our teacher application open for the educational component as well. Where should people go to sort of connect further?
Sure. At the end, I think I could post in the comments. I'll give you my personal phone number and my email address here for everyone. You can always go to hh-americas.com. On there, we have a live chat that's monitored by our sales team here in Chicago. So you can chat with them live on there. And then all of this, when you click on For Exhibitors, you will see a specific page for the India Untangled Pavilion. We have a partnership with Cooperative Press for a book pavilion where we're going to be doing book signings. We have a pattern and designer pavilion, which is even another format because they require something different. We're trying to, and we have we have national pavilions, so we're trying to make the show as accessible and open as possible. And that, I would say, that's the best place to go. And if you can't find it, you shoot us a note. We'll help you find where it is or answer your questions. Along with, you'll find the hotel information. We now have 5 different hotels, various price points, all walking distance to the fairgrounds, talking like I'm in Germany, to the exhibition center right there. That all have free shuttle buses to the airport and back. So we're trying to make things pretty efficient and easy.
That's great. I am super excited. Again, it's June 22nd, 24th. We're going to be in Chicago at Rosemont, and we would just love to see all of you there, have a chance to meet you in person and talk to you. And this is just a super exciting new development for the craft industry. So thank you, Darrin, for joining me.
Absolutely. If I can just throw 2 things out there really quick, because one popular question I've been asked quite a bit is, Darrin, how can we trust you? How do we trust Cologne Messe that this show, if we pay you now, the show, if we buy an attendee ticket and all this stuff?
Right.
Want to address that really quick. If you go to Cologne Messe's main corporate site in Germany, we've been operating trade shows since 28. Here, we're actually growing. We did not have any layoffs. We had no furloughs. We kept all of our employees on. We're here behind our customers. All of our events for the last year and a half now, every customer received a full refund for any funds paid to Cologne Messe for any event that was postponed or canceled. And then, as Abby alluded to, we will be publishing at the beginning of the year our health plan. We will have a stringent COVID policy with mandatory vaccinations, how we're going to deal with that, how we're going to check that. Right now in Illinois, we do have a face mask mandate. Very similar, if you were going to go to Cologne, you can click right on it. It'll be very cleanly of what are all the current regulations. And then, because we're living in a very quick moving environment on this, we will keep it updated as things change at a state and national and international level.
That's great. That is so important. Thank you for clarifying those 2 things. So thank you for everybody who joined us today to learn more about H&H Americas. We hope you will follow up. You can certainly reach out anytime. We will be happy to talk to you further about any of the things we talked about today. Thanks, Darrin.
Thank you so much for the time. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye now.